All right, team, listen up. Today we're on a high-stakes mission, decoding a diagnostic challenge that trips up so many people on their medical boards. We're talking about hypercalcemia with a suppressed parathyroid hormone. Let's dive in.
Pay attention. When that serum calcium is high and your PTH is down in the dirt, your entire mission changes. You are no longer dealing with a parathyroid problem. This is a non-parathyroid invasion. We are officially in the realm of the mimickers.
So here's the absolute key takeaway. The parathyroid gland is actually doing its job perfectly by shutting down. The signal to crank up that calcium is coming from somewhere else entirely.
Now, in hospitalized patients, your number one suspect is almost always malignancy, usually from something called PTH-related protein produced by squamous cell cancers. But you got to be on the lookout for the granuloma factory in conditions like sarcoidosis, which just churns out excess active vitamin D. And of course, don't miss Milk-Alkali syndrome from someone taking way too many antacids. Mastering this differential is absolutely crucial for your exam. So let's get to it.
But hold on. Before we go hunting for these hidden enemies of the bone, we have to engage our mandatory safety protocol. This part is non-negotiable.
Okay, here it is. Mandatory International Medical Disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes for international boards only. It is not medical advice. Always consult official guidelines and a specialist physician for any clinical decisions.
All right, safety check complete. Let's apply this intel. We have a case file that perfectly illustrates this entire scenario. Let's analyze the target.
Okay, here's the file. We've got a 65-year-old smoker with a persistent cough that just won't quit. Labs come back and his calcium is high at 13, but his PTH is suppressed all the way down at 5. Now the intern on the case wants to order an ultrasound of the neck. Is that the right move?
The whole answer is right here in this one number, 5. That is suppressed. This tells you loud and clear that the parathyroid glands are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're shutting down because the calcium is so high. They are not the problem.
So back to the question, should we be looking at the neck?
Absolutely not. That's a total waste of time. If you're looking at the neck when the PTH is low, you are literally chasing a ghost. The source is somewhere else. And for a smoker with a cough, this is pointing us straight towards a classic trap.
And that trap leads us right here, to parathyroid hormone-related protein, or PTH-rp. This is basically fake PTH. It's produced by certain cancers, like squamous cell carcinoma of the lung. The correct next step here is to check a PTH-rp level and get a chest x-ray.
But wait, there's another trap that the boards just love to set, and this one involves medications. Let's take a look at some common decoys.
Yes. The thiazide versus loop trap. Most people know that thiazide diuretics cause hypercalcemia, but they forget why. And the why is everything. Thiazides actually increase calcium reabsorption in the kidney, so your urine calcium will be low. On the flip side, we use loop diuretics, like furosemide, to literally loop the calcium out of the body in emergencies.
So here's the mnemonic you need to burn into your brain. Loops lose calcium, thiazides take it back. If you see high serum calcium and low urine calcium in a patient taking blood pressure meds, you better be thinking thiazide.
Okay, let's lock in this diagnostic code with a rapid-fire matrix. This is going to seal the logic for your exam day. Ready? Let's run through this. If you find a high PTH-rp, you're thinking malignancy. If you see a high active vitamin D, the 125 form, that points to sarcoidosis. Now, what if the 25-hydroxy vitamin D is high? That's much more likely to be vitamin D supplement toxicity. You see alkalosis and renal failure, you got to suspect Milk-Alkali syndrome. And finally, if the urine calcium is way down, you are looking for that thiazide effect. Logic? Sealed. And there you have it. The hidden traps of hypercalcemia are now exposed. We have completed this critical part of our mission. Time for the debrief. We have now officially secured Section E2.7 of the Endocrine Master Tree, hypercalcemia with suppressed PTH. The next directive is to integrate this new intel into the bigger picture. Being able to integrate all of this thyroid and parathyroid logic into a single diagnostic master tree, well, that's the ultimate goal for board readiness. The final piece of that puzzle is coming up next. So the question is, are you ready?